And here we are. Man sharpens man once again. Charlie, I had my new theme song on the beginning of the last one. I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, checked it out.
Yep, check it
That's
out.
awesome.
Like if you are listening to Man Sharpens Man, this episode or last episode, because I'm put my intro on this one too. Don't worry, I'm gonna work on it. I know it's not beautiful, but if
Yeah.
you know what my intro is, and you write in or put it in the comments, whoever the first person is to know what my intro is, because it's vague. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna spoil and tell you where I scalped that beats from. But if you recognize the beats from my intro, because YouTube did, and I thought YouTube was gonna recognize it and fag me, but they did not. So if you recognize those beats, put it in the comment, write me a letter, and guess what you'll win. What
What
should
do
they
you
win,
win?
Charlie? I
What
don't
will
know.
they
Let's
win?
think of something. You want to you want to smoke a fat joint with the hosts of Man Sharpens Man, maybe, or what do you want? Like dealer's choice. We'll work out a prize. If you put the comment, I'll figure out a prize, custom tailored to your unique chakras.
That's
once
a
I
good
sense
prize.
them. That's a great prize.
Yeah.
Most places just offer you some generic prize. They're like, hey, you win this prize. Like, you give a trip to the Sandals Resort with all these water slides and shit to an 80-year-old woman. I see it all the time on the morning shows, like Kathy Lee Gifford and crap.
Yeah.
That kind of, well, she's not around anymore. Now it's that Kelly Ripa is her name.
Hmm.
She's quite a television hoe, too. She always has a different co-host. See, I'm loyal to my co-host for a while. I mean, Basie was here first. He moved away on me. He moved downstate.
Yeah, he moved to the big time.
So now I'm loyal to you, Charlie. But I'm saying Kelly Ripa is unloyal host. She always has new people on, new host, co-host, sub-host.
Man,
Sometimes she has like an animal. She'll just like have a dog as a co-host.
it's messed up.
Ever since
Well,
Michael
that
Strahan
would be cool
left
to have
her.
an animal. I
She
had
had-
an animal on my podcast.
Well, yeah, but not a fun
And
animal.
a scavenger hunt as well.
Oh, you had a
we
scavenger? Yeah, the scavenger hunt. How'd that go? Did
Yeah.
anyone scavenge anything? Or
It's
is most of
pretty
those items
complex.
still hidden?
It's pretty complex, so whoever's working on it is probably still working on it.
They got like the wall of information set up
Yeah.
and some yarn and some tacks and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I made the podcast 2 weeks ago, and I calculated it would be impossible to have it done by now.
This right here, this is going to be episode number 40, Charlie, just so you know. No. Episode number 50 is what this is.
Man.
And so what I think I'm going to do, and I think I've talked to you about this before, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on it so people know. We're going to do it. We're going to steal what like shitty grocery stores do. We're going to steal their great idea because they do have good ideas. And I'm going to have a grand reopening of the show.
Or television shows.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that they have
television shows do it
reopenings,
too. Yeah, yeah.
But these 50 episodes, these are like our 50 hours of our pilot.
Yeah, exactly.
Where normally a TV show is like a 30-minute pilot.
So we are going to
50 hours.
rebrand and relaunch Man Sharpens Man. I may keep the name, probably will. Who knows what I'll do? Who knows? We'll talk before the next week.
Yeah.
But we'll be back, people. Don't think I'm leaving. I'm just saying it's quite monumental to me, Charlie. 50 of them now.
Yeah.
This is number 50.
Yeah.
That's big. Half 100.
Yeah, and whoever wins the prize, maybe part of it, they could get a share in the stock that we'll
Ooh.
have later.
Ooh, we should have
The
stock.
Man Sharpens Man stock.
I need to work on this show harder. I mean, I like the content, but I need to produce it more. I need to get it out there for people. It's not hitting enough ears, Charlie.
I think we need to apply for a stock for Man Sharpens Man.
That would be a good
That's
idea.
possible. I don't know.
We need to get a hold of Trump. He's the one that's making the stock
need a
market
resume for
pop
that?
right now. Yeah, I think you got to need a resume, some kind of thing. You need to get a hold of the Wu-Tang Clan because they know how to keep your bonds diversified, fool. They do.
Yeah.
They got that covered. The Wu.
We
Check
need
out
that.
the Wu.
We need that album. That single album.
Oh, the Man Sharpens Man fans. I was telling Charlie I hollered at some local Traverse City rappers.
Oh.
Holy shit, that was scary.
Speaking of
like,
hip-hop
that's
legends.
terrifying. You know how hardcore No, I'm just kidding. They were Traverse City rappers. They weren't hardcore at all. No, they might be hardcore. They got in a little fight recently. The guy was telling me about it. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they like rushed the stage and there was a fight and we had to defend ourselves and it's all I'm on probation, but it's a bunch of crap. And I was like, oh, look at this. He's like a Traverse City Tupac. Like, he
Man.
didn't shoot anyone because it's Traverse City,
But he
but he
survived.
punched someone. Yeah.
He survived.
Yeah, he got his street cred up a little bit. You don't have to do much like you can jaywalk and you have street cred in Traverse City. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
look at him. He ran on a diagonal and stopped in the middle for a car to pass. He's a thug. He stood in the left-hand turn lane for a moment while two cars zinged, and then he finished his trip across the road.
Yeah, it's not a place where you see too much of that.
I'm not upset about it. I'm not
Too
complaining.
much
I'm
crazy
happy.
shit, yeah.
With our little recent road trips with John and Charlie's Travels, we get to see the darker side of the world. It's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
weird down there.
It's different.
It's definitely different. Definitely different. A lot of crime in the city. You can just tell. It's just crime ridden. Every
Mhm.
gas station is so scared you're going to shoplift or steal. They have nothing for
Mhm.
sale that's not locked up, and you're like dealing through a little dumbwaiter, and
You
It's
just
just a
smell the
pain.
crime down there.
Oh yeah, everyone just smokes in public. That is kind of a nice thing, you know. Everyone
Hmm.
smokes weed in public now. They've opened up or something.
Yeah. So everybody has a contact high.
They do. Everyone down there is high. Not on life. Not on life. No, Lansing was pretty high too. Lansing was a fun trip. Lansing was sweet. We got to go to College Town, USA, where everyone's beautiful and 6'2", and me and Oompa Loompa Charlie both being fucking 5 foot nothing come
Yeah.
staggering into town in a broke down Subaru.
Yeah, looking at the crowd, they can barely see us
Yeah.
over there, the mic stand.
I think that's why I'm finally getting a little respect in life, Charlie, is because people can't see the top of my head when I'm on stage. That's why they're listening to me. Like before, when I was just ranting and I wasn't an actual comic and I wasn't up on stage, people could see the top of my head and they don't take you seriously when they're looking down at the top of your fucking head. I feel like they're just like, I can see the top of your head. I don't take you that seriously. Like they almost put you in the. But now I'm up on stage. No one knows I could have a tattoo on the top of my head for all anyone knows, like a target.
But
or
if
something.
you're in a play or a musical, maybe.
Maybe.
They could see part of your head, possibly.
Part of my head if I get down and dirty. No, I don't think that's what it is, but it is fun to be up there. I'm tall enough they can't. You see this big scratch? The only reason I'm talking about got a big scratch on my head before today's Art Bomb show. It pissed me off, man. It was terrible. My dog just like reached up and
He
noogied
just
me.
barked.
Yeah. That was kind of a cue, wasn't
Man.
it? But he reached up and noogied me.
He did seem a little interject.
He's a bastard. He scratched me good right before the show. It's like, aw, now I'm gonna
He's
look like a
preparing you.
freak more.
Putting you in-
More like a freak. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna look terrible. Now I'm gonna look like a terrible a-hole. This might be Georgievich crawling across the room,
Oh.
but who knows? It could be anybody.
Speaking of legends,
Legend, a legend in his own right. Oh, it is Matt. Oh, he's got a girlfriend. Welcome. Have you? You haven't been in the studio yet, have you? This is pretty nice
Legend.
so far, isn't it? We just started. We just modified this
Le-
thing. Take the mic, Charlie. I'm gonna make him a seat. That's how it
Le-
is. Like I got rolling utensils and shit in his way. He could have sat down, but the weed is there, and he would have sat in the green. There you go, Matt. Look at the seat, and your wife has got to have a seat too somewhere here. We have Matt's wife. Her name is Rose. No, her name isn't Rose. What, Caitlin or Caitlin? That's what it is. I'm terrible with names. Terrible with names. That's why I usually give people nicknames, but in the world they're not shined upon. Like in the free world, people don't like when you just randomly give them a shitty nickname. You know the meanest. This leads me right into my Man Sharpens Man prison story of the week, Charlie. You ready for it? Here it is. I just thought of it. I was terrible about giving people nicknames, and one of the funniest nicknames I ever gave somebody, and it was also one of the meanest ones, was there was this dude at, he was up north in the UP, Camp Cousineau or some shit, and he got all of his teeth knocked out one time. Say hi, Matt.
What's going on?
This is Georgievich.
Should I throw some fucking headphones on?
Oh, you can. No, you won't hear anything if you throw them on. But you'll talk louder and you'll look cool. But they'll mess with your gauges and make you sweat.
Yeah, you don't want this stinky shit on your fucking headphones.
Matt, let me take you in
Need
here.
a shower though.
Let me bring you right in with this prison story, so you jump in the mode,
All right.
so you feel like a thug right away. So I
Feel
meet
like
this. I meet this kid.
goddamn-
I never can remember his name, but I'm playing. He's a short black guy, and you know, his Shorty is kind of his first nickname, but everyone's called Shorty, so that's not a great nickname. So I'm like, first couple days of knowing him, I'm trying to develop his nickname like I do for everyone. We're playing basketball, and he gets in an argument with a guy about some kind of stupid call, and the guy just punches him out of the blue. Like this
Good
huge
Lord.
guy just kaboom, punches him, and knocks all of his front teeth out. Like 4 or 5 of his front teeth.
Holy
Knocked
fuck,
them straight
one
out. They
punch?
were on the ground in like a
Just-
puddle of drool as the
Good
guy like
Lord.
got himself up. Well, the little dude took off and left and went to his unit, and the big dude, being a smart ass, picked the teeth up. And I'm just telling you about this because there's a story later to come. Well, anyhow, the
That's some
guy,
brutal ass shit.
this shit was brutal, yeah, because he stole his teeth like he's gonna make a goddamn necklace out of
Holy
them or something.
Hannibal
you know what I'm
Lecter
saying? He's a
shit.
yeah, exactly. What are you, a fucking tribesman
My
or something? You're
God.
gonna do a voodoo spell on this kid?
Gotta make
So
a
he
soup.
takes the fucking teeth, 4 or 5 of them, and he just takes them. And it's gross, and it's all hepatitis-y. He doesn't wear a glove. It's just disgusting. But the guy is a savage. The guy that punched him, like, I would have never said shit to that guy, Shorty. And
Like,
here's
I'm
the guy.
out.
I'm going to tell you his nickname now so I can start referring to him. I started calling him Shorty No Fronts after that.
Shorty
Because he had no front
fronts,
teeth,
yeah.
so I just, like, changed his name to Shorty No Fronts. And he didn't like
Yeah.
it. But,
Well,
you know,
you know.
he only had a few teeth left, so what the fuck's he going to do? You know, shut up, Shorty No Fronts. That's how it kind of was. Come see me in the world, motherfucker. I know you got dentures. You probably... He's got them dentures where he's just got like the
Love that.
super white right in the front. And the other ones are like off yellow. It's like, what the hell you got? That little fucking shark
I
bite
guess some
fucking
messed
thing.
up choppers.
Yeah.
Doesn't look super messed up.
But listen to
Man,
the
they're
saga that
pretty
incurs.
fucked
Like
up.
I got to make it a story by telling you the saga that incurs a little bit because I wasn't in on the antics. I wasn't participating in punching or taking the teeth or none of it. I just knew about it. Anyhow,
That's some fucked up shit.
Shorty goes whining to his unit, and then he goes to see the nurse because he's freaking out because his teeth are missing. So he goes into the nurse, and the nurse says, "Hey, there's nothing we can do unless you get your teeth." So he runs outside, and when he gets out there, everyone's laughing at him and teasing him because they're like, "Hey, fucking RuPaul or whatever took your fucking teeth," and they're laughing about it. And now he's really freaking out because he can't get his teeth, and the guy's like in another unit, and he doesn't think he can get his teeth put back in. So he
That's
goes
fucked.
back
That
to
is
see.
straight fucked.
Isn't that crazy? So he goes back to the nurse who's in the unit. So people are watching him cross the gym floor and go into the nurse's office and listen. People run over and listen at the door and shit. So people know what's going on. And so he runs and he tells the nurse, "Hey, I can't find him. Everyone told me that he took him." And the nurse says, "Well, you're gonna have to tell me who punched you, and snitching is bad and blah blah blah." So the kid kind of resists for a little while, and then the nurse says,
Yeah,
"Well,
shit.
who did it? And I'll get the guards to let you go in the unit and ask for your teeth. You just tell us what unit and blah blah blah." So they worked this weird fucking thing out.
Yeah,
where
they didn't want to
let
get the guy in trouble.
Yeah,
But
they
knew
let
he
the
was gonna get his
kid
ass
go
beat
ask
again.
for his teeth back from the big dude. I can't think of what his name was. And the big dude told him that he had flushed him down the toilet.
That's some straight fuck shit. Holy.
And then we found out later the big dude still had him the whole time, and he just kept
What
him.
was he doing? He was just a fucking
He just
trophy?
bragged about, there was
Good
a
Lord.
trophy he had in his property, this guy's teeth.
What? Jesus Christ. I can't imagine. I probably would too if I
Isn't that
knocked
crazy?
5 fucking teeth out of
Or maybe
someone's
he's
head.
so
I'm like, those are
retarded.
mine.
He's like, the
Spoils
tooth
of
fairy's
war.
gonna really pay me for this one. I'm gonna
Oh my
actually, I'm
God.
gonna set a trap and I'm gonna
That's
rape the
so-
tooth fairy. I'm in jail. I'm gonna put these under the pillow. When the tooth fairy shows up, I'm gonna flip that little faggot skirt up and just rail him. I feel like that's what the guy's plan might have been. I don't know. That's made up, the end of it. But the beginning of it's all true. He stole the guy's teeth and kept them.
This is really good. You're getting these on audio.
That's why I did this show. I wanted to
Yeah,
get
I
this
know.
shit out in the air. It's like
I love how you call it the world too. Out in the world. I totally get it.
Yeah, that's
it's
what you
fucking
call it.
awesome,
This
yeah.
is the world. And when I do the show, I kind of I don't let myself slip totally back in the persona of being an inmate or I'd be a real asshole. Not an asshole to you, but you know what I mean? I just talk real gruff.
Right.
It's like I was telling someone the other day, I would never joke around the way I used to. It's the most savage type of being an asshole. You think high school kids are bad? Inmates are shitheads. We would talk bad about each other.
I can imagine.
There was just no way you were allowed to even
That's all I
be
can
nice
do.
to each other. You had to insult each other perpetually and constantly. It was the culture in there.
Or you were just kind of a big puss, or
Yeah, or something. I
Yeah.
don't know what it. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I just interpreted it that way. Who knows?
maybe.
When it was
Maybe
a
that's a
it's a dog eat dog world, and in a world like
Gotta be a
that,
weird
I like
place.
to be the dog that was making the other dogs laugh and shit, so I didn't have to participate in the eating of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they let me be the side dog.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of comedians is just their funniness is just kind of a deterrent to maybe not engage or just diffuse a situation
or
just-
not
just
engage in
fucking-
violence. Once with
Yeah,
me
that's
is what it was.
yeah, for sure.
It's if I can keep everyone laughing, they're all my friends. Well, most of them are my friends.
Yeah,
and
no
then
one's
they don't
gonna
want people fucking
just
with you.
start
Because you're
knocking
the little
5
jewel
teeth
of the
out.
unit. They're at breakfast, John always says some shit and does a crazy thing. He might take the clock off the
That's
wall
awesome.
and wear it like Flavor Flav and dance around like a I used to do shit like that all the time. And it was
Right.
I wasn't in my head thinking, well, if I act like the court jester, they'll keep me safe. It just kind of worked out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you just kind of went with it.
Yeah, sometimes things just happen because they're supposed to, and that's how it was. So it was kind of fun. That's why when people ask me how long I've been in comedy, it's a pretty relative fucking question. I've only been getting on stage for a year.
Me too, man. I feel like I've
but
been
I've
funny a
been
long
trying to be
time.
funny my whole
I
life
always
or
looking for
something.
the joke, that's
Yeah.
there. You always take that route instead of anything else.
Yeah, it's way funner.
It's they're really talking about what was his Facebook post?
I bet it was something political.
No, it wasn't one of the non-political ones.
Oh, it was not political?
I cannot
I
remember
did
what
kinda
it was.
see that.
It's just a defense mechanism, I think, is all it said.
Yeah.
It's just you don't want to deal with something. You're not either mature enough or that's just who you are. So you just disengage a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Maybe what it is. Comedy has helped me engage, but it also I
Yeah.
do see that. I can see doing it in public and stuff.
You
I do it as
learn
a
a
like
lot.
shield.
It's weird. I've only been doing it for a little while, and it's a lot of stuff is I look at it completely different now.
We got the art bomb tonight, fool.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun as shit.
I'm excited.
That
Yes,
is gonna
it's
be fun
sweet.
as shit. I'm excited.
I was
for that.
listening to the episode yesterday. Was it yesterday you put it out?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah, I
hear
listened
my
to that
intro
one.
song?
Yeah, Charlie's like, you gotta listen to this intro.
Did you
He
like
sent me
my
the link.
intro?
I was
It's
like,
pretty
oh
nice.
shit.
It's kind of deep. It's a little deep. It's a little deep. It's a little deep. I'm gonna
got it.
spoil it. I'll
There's
tell you
that
what. You know what
comic.
the intro's from? You know what I took it from?
What?
I scalped it from. I'm gonna tell people. I was gonna do a contest, but everyone's
You get
lazy.
fucking
They don't
sued,
want
bruh.
the
Whoever
contest.
hears this first will win the
Well, yeah, if they hear this, then
Looking
they
for
can
some
cheat on the
litigation.
contest. Yeah, this would show if they listen all the way through too, like the Kelly Ripa
Am I hitting
thing.
that level too high? I feel like I'm trying to.
Hell no, you're
Get
not.
up-
That level
get
is
up on that.
beautiful.
Okay.
Like if you're like this is all relative. Yeah, but it is good to keep an eye on that. That's what I do. Like ooh la la la. Try to shape your voice like a penis. Like make a no.
Just look at the wave. Yeah.
No, but I got the theme song. What I did is I scalped a little segment of Jesus Christ Superstar. The
Oh
music
shit!
from
I
that.
would not have
yeah.
recognized that.
Yeah, it's just it's the whipping scene where they're whipping Jesus and like singing while they're doing it, and they're like flogging him.
What's with white people and recreating that? Am I right? Am I
Yeah,
right?
that's a weird thing. The Superstar one is kind of fun though. It's an old one. It's very blasphemously fun. Like I watch it in the wrong way. Like I kind of watch it.
I've never seen it.
You would
I've
enjoy
never,
it. You would.
like,
I'm gonna make you watch it
had
soon.
the opportunity. I think.
Like it's very blasphemous in a way, and like religious people
I'm
don't
down with
like
that.
it. Yeah, you would
Yeah,
like
I
it
just-
for that reason. Like it's nice. It's a nice thing, and you learn about the Bible a little bit at the same time. But there's a flogging scene in there, and I took the part where they were like
Well,
flogging him.
you can't cut that out. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it
the
was-
best part. Everyone
It was
loves that,
beautiful,
right?
and I just played
Here.
the flogging music, and they were singing the number of flogs they were giving them. So I like
Oh,
sampled it
so
from
it
like
is,
the
like,
4th to the 11th flog.
kind
so
of
I-
mocking it. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
And I had 11 to 20 was my prison sentence, so I counted it up to the 11th flog. Like like I had gotten flogged a little.
It's just
I
deep
say it's
as
got a little
fuck.
deep shit in there, a little deep meaning in it.
Right.
I mean, not that I care. I wasn't crying when I made it or nothing. I was.
It just happened to.
I did when I make. I want to make kind of rapped on this one. I wanted to make a couple different kinds. Maybe I'll rock on one. Maybe I'll sing like country another one. But I learned something about myself, Matt. Do you sing? Besides
I
playing the
do,
drums?
yeah.
You do?
That's the only other thing I do, really. I fuck around on guitar and like multiple drums, but it's mainly just drum kit and vocals.
See, I never had the proper respect for singers, and I still kind of don't because I laugh at the voice and shit. But what I'm saying
Seems
is,
like they're getting off easy. Like they got this gift and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna get fucked up and just ride this wave.
I used to always assume that I was just a good singer, and I didn't want to. Like I had never even actually tried to sing, and I was just
Right.
like, oh, it's like before. Like I never tried a slam dunk, so
I'm
I
like,
can always assume I can
okay
slam
at
dunk.
best.
It's like I've never tried to slam dunk, so maybe I could if I really
Right.
wanted to, or just in the right
You just
circumstance.
sat there for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So what? My long story short is I tried to sing the intro song.
Right.
It was giving me panic attacks. I was completely fucking alone, sitting in this basement,
But
right in this
just
corner, all by myself, no one
that
else in this giant house. Every time I'd go to sing, it'd give me a panic attack. I felt like I was wearing a wig at a ball or something. Like
Wow,
I thought
yeah, I
everyone
totally
was staring
understand
at
that
me.
though.
Oh, it was terrifying.
Like, yeah, you can get up on stage and just fucking kill it, but
But the
that,
singing,
that little bit of difference with singing is just like,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it alone. I couldn't imagine going out in front of people and just trying to
No.
squawk like that.
no, I've only done it. I get real embarrassed if I'm like around people and I'm singing and stuff. It's usually really mumbly and people are like, "What the fuck are you doing over there?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
What's funny is I do sing in the shower at the gym sometimes just to
Huh.
be awkward, but I have total anonymity.
I do it
don't
at my
think
house
people
all the time.
know I'm
It's
doing
just,
it.
Yeah, it's a different thing than just getting up there and trying to make people laugh.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
I usually like sing
vulnerable.
Primus songs and shit at the shower.
ooh, I like Primus. Yeah, that's some good shit, man.
Don't you love Primus? He
I
plays
fucking
in Grand
love
Rapids all the time under different
That's
names, but he's got like
amazing.
30 different. Les Claypool, he's always down there in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing. I have not heard an iteration of fucking Les Claypool that I haven't liked. Like everything is good.
Yeah.
Ever hear like some Oysterhead or anything?
Mm-mm.
It's one
Is
of
that
his,
one of his
it's
groups,
One of
too?
his groups.
Yeah, he's got
it's
so many, though.
good. It's
Yeah,
like a little
Legion
more
of
funky.
Frogs and shit.
Yeah, the Legion of what was it?
or Legion of Toads or some kind of thing. I don't know
like
what he's got. I used to be way big
Colonel
into music.
Claypool's
when it
Bucket
was
of
hard to
Bernie
do.
Brains or something like
And now that
that.
it's so easy, I'm barely into it. Like I should
Yeah.
get back into music.
They
It
just
used to
put
be
out a
my
new
big
album.
escape. It was my meditation.
Primus, did you know that?
They did?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I did see that
It's
on their
about like I
Instagram.
can't remember what it's called. It's about
It had
color
the picture
though.
like the gnome or the troll as the cover art or something like that.
They had one that was like Willy Wonka themed, and then the one after that, it's about I can't remember what
I've
it's
been putting
called,
young
but it's
Charlie
about
up
like
here on new music lately. I made him
The
listen to some
Colours or something
Metallica
like that.
yesterday. He was
Metallica's
digging it.
good if you listen to the right shit. Like,
Yeah.
don't get off the radio stuff. Like, everybody's just got this boner for Metallica, but they only know four fucking songs. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like up there, everybody's like, "I love Metallica," and then when it comes on, it's like, dude, I don't want to listen to this fucking Metallica song for the 30,000th time. You know,
It's weird, but a bunch
like
of
throw
Metallica
some fucking
songs.
Ride the Lightning, like a deep track in there every once in a while.
Yeah. Some of the Metallica
Kill 'em
songs I
all.
like, I'm sure you would hate. Like I love some of their
No, I like the goofy shit
Do
too.
you?
I do like it. It's
like
just
Hero
you
of
hear
the
it a
Day. Have you heard
ton.
the song Hero of the Day?
Is
I like
that
that
off
one.
their new shit? I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
kind of newish. And it was.
Is that the one?
I kind of fell
No,
out of
me
love
and
with
you listened
Metallica
to,
for a little bit.
Wherever I May Roam. That's
Like
one
I
of the-
love that shit.
That's my
that's
favorite
that's my
song
jam,
though,
man.
because I mean that song in prison will
How
give
can
you
you
a little
not? You gotta give
motivation to
credit
go
where
another
credit
day.
is due. You know.
And it's like
Yeah.
the road too.
Yeah, wherever you
Yeah.
hang your hat, that's where your home is.
Yeah, that's a
that
good
makes
song.
sense. You know, wherever you
Need to
take
get
your
on some
pee-pee
Kill 'Em All.
blanket.
Just start at Kill 'Em All, Charlie, and just go. Like the first 3-4 albums are fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty good. He hasn't listened to much.
Up
of
to
it.
the Black
He doesn't
album is
know that
really
they did shit with
good.
like the symphony orchestra,
That's
and they're
on
all
that.
That shit's
respectable
cool.
and
I like
shit.
Bad
that.
advice. If we were talking about music.
Yeah,
Start right. Is that Metallica?
you should fuck with that, definitely, man.
Is that Metallica?
What?
Kill them all.
Yeah,
Kill 'Em All. Yeah,
Metallica,
Kill 'Em All's their
Kill 'Em All.
first one. I want to say.
Yeah, it was one of their first ones.
I think Kill 'Em All was their first. Ride the Lightning's in there
For
somewhere.
years,
I'm not
they had like
super-
4
I'm not
big
super
albums,
Metallica
and everyone
fan,
just
but
ran around with a T-shirt that had the 4 albums on the back of it, and it was corny as fuck. Like that was one of
You had it was just like a full shirt though, like it was on the sleeves and shit, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had that too.
yeah, everyone had that.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
seemed
no,
like.
I had that same shirt. That's amazing.
And then there was also Charlie didn't get to
It was a
witness this. He's
hand-me-down.
too young, but that remember
Sort of.
remember the denim, and people would draw Metallica on the denim jacket
yeah.
of their own with a pin. Like they're used to every
Yeah.
school, because I used to move around from school to school, and I never went to a school. I probably went to 20 different schools. My parents moved a shit ton because we were poor,
Right.
and I never went to a school from the time I was like in the 3rd grade that didn't have the one guy that could like draw Slayer and Metallica perfectly, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
did a couple of his dirtbag friends' denim jackets and shit.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah,
It was
there's a lot of
thing.
shitty metalheads.
Nirvana
Some cool
came
metalheads,
along.
too,
They
though.
learned how to write that little thing too. They could draw their band sign. You know, it was one of them things, Charlie. It was before this weird age of music where there's 10 million people on SoundCloud.
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta listen to,
everybody's
like,
got a
somebody
fire
no
album.
one's ever heard before. You ever heard of Boluba Booba?
Yeah, it's
No.
pretty like if you try to like just get music out there, it's pretty like it sucks. Like you put it out there, it's like 0 listens. You're like,
Yep.
oh,
It's
cool.
weird how music has taken that huge turn where they're do it for free. Most groups are just giving away their shit for free so that they can
Yeah.
go tour and make money. Where before you toured to get your name out there and then
Yep.
sold your album to make money. Like it's totally flipped itself on the head.
Fucking hipsters.
Like it used to be, you went around and toured and there was no money in that shit and you hated it, but then you sold 1 billion albums and you were rich as hell. Now you can't sell nothing because you got to give it away, but then you make your money touring and doing merch and shit like that.
Which is
That's-
kind of cool.
it's
Yeah,
kinda
to be
cool.
live.
I think porn is going that way. I think there's going to be live porn shows soon, Matt, because they've been giving porn away for a while.
Probably.
Pretty soon, those porn stars are
Gotta
going to
pay
have
for
to
that
earn their
shit.
money by going around and doing some live porn shows or something. I don't know what's going to happen, Matt. They do. They have
Yeah.
live porn in Europe. Matt's wife is a porn buff. That's a nice. That's a
She
nice
knows a
feature.
few,
Like
yeah.
girls try to brag like they watch football or play Call of Duty. I watch porn constantly.
I'm not
Obsessed
constantly.
with
I don't
sex and
think.
watch porn. All I wear is panties.
I think I'm more constantly. It's like, you know,
Porn is. I love
got
the
jokes about it.
I,
Jokes. I got
like I like
jokes.
porn that's like funny. Like I can't like help it.
The funny stuff is cool. I like it.
Like when I
Sometimes,
see
you know,
something that's outrageous.
It's, you know, a palate cleanser every once
like
in a while.
I've done too many jokes about it on MSM, so I'm not going to talk about it for a bunch of time. But did I show you the Donkey Bangers of Colombia?
No,
You're going to see that. It's not
Glad
porn.
you didn't.
It's a Vice story, and it's definitely not porn. But that's the kind of
Oh,
porny
okay.
stuff I like, where it's like I don't want to watch a donkey get railed, but I do want to see it for a moment, so I know that it's happened, and I can have perspective on the
Straight
world.
fucked. That ugh.
Yeah.
We watched
In
that
all
for like 20
senses.
The Colombian men of this little Cartagena or something, the coastline of Colombia, they
Yeesh.
literally have been taught to believe it's a cultural thing that you enhance the size of your member by having sex with a donkey. Like, you're not going to grow a big penis. You're not going to have a big Colombian penis unless you bang a donkey.
And no one's been like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
No, they all just do it. The boys love it. Because the
I'm sure
donkeys
they
are
do.
more, like, it's easier to get a donkey than it is a girl.
Yeah, they got it figured out down there, man.
Yeah, they
Making
do.
some fucking donkey centaurs,
Heck yeah, they do.
minotaur, donkey tour. There you go.
It'll take one
Copyright
of
Matt
these days.
Georgievich, 2018.
Yeah, a Senator. A Senator, because I sin with a donkey. This is a Senator. It's similar to a Minotaur. That's a terrible name. Oh, shit. So are you ready for this art bomb?
Not really. I didn't prepare at all.
That's
really.
how you should be. Just wing it, have fun. This is going to be live. This is
I
my
did
first
the
time
set.
hosting, Matt Georgievich.
I know, that's fucking awesome.
It's gonna be
I'm
pretty
glad,
intense for me in the
shout out to
strange experience.
Jeremy West for getting it right at Rotten Cherries. Did you guys tell him that?
Did he get it right?
No,
No.
I didn't tell him that.
You didn't tell him that?
No.
Well, Jeremy,
Oh, he was
if
missing.
you're listening to this, you found out now.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he,
sent it to him today.
Oh,
he was saying the
I
wrong
figured
date
if
for
I
the
told
show or
him-
something.
no,
or
he was
something?
saying Charlie was
Yeah,
hosting.
I figured if I
Oh,
told
yeah, I
him,
heard
he
him
wasn't
saying
gonna-
that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe his soul will be coursing through my body. I don't care. I just wanted to do my set at Rotten Cherries. I was like too focused on that. I was worried about it. I wanted to do good. So
Fucking killed it that night. That was
that
sweet.
event. That was
Filled
pretty
up a
fun.
little bit right at the end too.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like when I get an audience. But I fucking always fuck up and do dumb shit. Like I left the mic at the back of the stage and felt like a dickhead.
That's just in your mind though.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
all
no one
stuff I
notices
don't
that
know of.
shit. That's like everybody. You would notice that shit, but I don't
I
think
do.
anybody
I
else
just
would.
like, you think of it
Riding that
afterwards.
wave
Like,
of,
why
like,
didn't I think of that? I was all
laughing.
excited. I wanted to run off the stage laughing and giving people high
Yeah,
fives.
it can always be better.
Yeah. Everything can always be better.
Even
I've always wanted to get on the mic and just fucking wing it and do like dumb shit, but I feel like it would go the wrong way and people would be like,
that's what
"Fuck
left
this
foot challenge
guy."
is for.
When
Yeah?
it does,
Maybe.
yeah,
I
when
don't
it
know.
does go the wrong way too. I don't know about you, but I start to get that little like pasty, dry mouth, and the brain
Oh
starts
yeah,
to like
I should
just.
probably bring water on stage more often.
Oh
'cause I
my
get the
gosh!
clickings.
Especially when I smoke so much weed
Clickety
before the
clacks.
shows. I'm so stupid to go up there without water in my mouth. Like,
Yeah.
I need a mint or something. I need some kind of like sprinkler system in there.
It's that Mary Jane cigarettes too.
Mm-hmm.
I get cotton mouth.
They
just
leave you
fucking
very
smelling weed
cottonmouth.
sometimes. Not for real.
You should have been at the dish with me and
pretty
Charlie.
bad.
Boy, there's this guy that was refreshing himself up on stage with a nice cold beer because he was
We were
getting
just
dry
talking
mouth.
about. I've heard this through the
Yeah.
grapevine.
Oh, he started burping and stuff. It was
Just-
terrible.
Yeah.
There's people eating, looking at him like he's got amplified burps pumping through the thing. It's just
Ugh.
like, oh my goodness, it was great.
You can just feel the cloud hit you.
Oh, you
Whoosh.
could.
Your hair
You-
goes back a little.
Yeah, you could almost smell the burp. Like it would transmit that
right.
way. Like the vibrations would vibrate your nose hairs just the right frequency where you could smell his breath, and you were just like, Jesus. Ugh. It was that.
Do you
It
ever
felt
get like
that way.
like a rogue nose hair that just like somehow catches your nose breath a little too weird?
Oh, and starts to tickle you that
Yeah,
way?
yeah, and you
Oh.
gotta get it, but like you're out in public and you're just like a fucking mad bull. You're
Oh
just
yeah. Oh, I'll get it. I'm not scared. I'll dig up.
Oh
in there
yeah,
and
I'll like
grab a
pull a
fistful
corner or
and
something
just,
and
like,
just.
fistful of dollars, baby. Sometimes I'm astonished at how many I can pull out of there. Like it's quite a few.
Oof, yeah,
The older you
I'm
get, the
getting there.
more it is.
Yeah, it's getting to be bad for me. I'm only 30 though, so it's
You know,
like
them nose hairs start to grow like.
I can just
crazy.
imagine I'm 80 though, dude. I'm gonna have to do it every morning. It's just like
The worst
cull
old man
that
hair that
shit.
you get though is like when two butt hairs decide that they're gonna like do the bread tie thing together,
no,
and then you stand
I've
up,
had that, man.
and your cheeks are almost tied together but not quite. So every time you take a step, it's
You're
just
like,
like
I gotta shower.
oh man, and you can't get those two hairs to separate. Like I'll do the
Got
big
some-
step once in a while and get them to just yank. I'll just go with the pain. I'll just be like, here
the
it comes.
sideways like
Time for 50 Shades of Grey in Walmart. I'm gonna take an oversized step
like,
and make
Tai
one of these
Chi
butt hairs
step,
rip
yeah.
loose. Yeah. Yeah. Once you get old, you start growing them on both beaches, and they just
Oh,
they reach
man.
across, hands across the water, baby, and they just get doop doop doop.
Yeah, I only did that joke one time, but yeah, I had a fucking like long hair from like a butt hair to my shorts
Oh.
in like the morning at Walmart one time. It was bad. Like it wouldn't come off. Like I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to do like this little shuffle in
The
front of all the
short step
morning
walk.
cashiers. Like, hey, how's it going, buddies? Nothing to see here.
This is how I walk when I have extreme chafing.
It wasn't chafing, man. That was an emergency.
It's
Like
the
it was
chafing
like
walk. It's the
I
chafing
didn't know that
walk.
could happen. I thought I pooped like a long hair, and it was just like, nope.
That's terrifying.
Hanging on.
That's terrifying. That's a terrifying thing. Did any of my cats give you grief when you came in, Matt Georgievich?
No, Leroy freaked the fuck out though.
I heard him barking. I was
yeah.
just I was talking to Charlie about his punk ass too. Look at this big scratch he put on my head.
Leroy did that.
Yeah, the
An asshole.
motherfucker, he made me mad. Like, and you know what? I was such a like this. It was good in a way, but it was bad in a way because when he first scratched me, the asshole in me like came like I was raging mad. I couldn't believe he scratched me.
Oh yeah, that
So
shit
I
hurts
literally
right there.
swung on him like he had started a fight. Like I'm so stupid. Like I'm sitting on the floor. Like I say, "Oh, come here, dog. Like I'm gonna pet you," and he just walks up, reaches up, and just like paws my head.
Ow.
So I'm like pissed about it, and I just come unglued instantly. Like there's not even a moment of thought, and I just go to punch him like we're in a fight. And I pull the punch a little bit for the SPCA or whatever. I really did pull the punch, and I kind of like hit him in the ribs a little too hard. And like my daughter was watching. I'm like, they might know that I just like reflexively punched him. So then I tried to play it off like I was wrestling with him for a hot second, so they wouldn't know that I like had a
right.
reflex punch. And then like later in the day, I was like, man, I can't believe Leroy scratched my head. And they're both like, well, you were wrestling with him. And I'm like, I guess I got to take that. I
Yeah,
wasn't
right,
wrestling with him. He started it. And like I punched
Fucker.
him way too hard. And then to cover my punch, I tried to
He's
wrestle.
really, like-
But I didn't want to look like an aggressive dickhead that like punched a dog.
Yeah,
and
he's
it
like
scratched
real
him.
docile, and then all of a sudden he just comes unglued and starts freaking out.
He
I
doesn't
love
normally
it.
scratch me so bad. Like I wouldn't normally punch him either. Like I didn't punch him hard. Like I would always pull my punch. I almost punched him,
yeah.
I should say.
Right. No,
But just
I
the
know.
fact that I reacted so badly, I felt bad.
Right.
So I played it off by wrestling him, and then it made it my
He
fault.
probably didn't even feel it. Fuck, he's huge.
It's almost like when two little kids get in a fight. You're just like, I don't care who started it. You're
Oh,
both
yeah.
assholes. That's how my
The
wife
one
treats
brother,
me and the
like,
dog.
Takes it a little too far, makes the other brother cry. So
Yeah, she's like, I don't care. You guys are both biting each other at this point, so I don't care who bit first. My sisters used to be bad. I got two little sisters that were like babies when I was like older, so I always had to babysit them and shit. And they were terrible because they would always bite each other.
Holy fuck.
And I used to be like, we definitely, like, I believed in Darwin because of that shit. Because it's like, we definitely came from animals. Because before they could even talk, they were biting each other.
Fuck.
Like a couple of piranhas.
Animal instinct. Yeah.
It was. They were mean. Like, I would see the one get so mad, she'd start shaking like Don Knotts and just like, oh, she just fucking.
Don Knotts,
yeah, she'd lay into like a vampire, like, you know, where they can't resist and they can see the vein through the skin and stuff. So
I
she'd
can't
act
stop
like, I
thinking
gotta
about Don
bite you. Ah, and she'd go in on her.
Fucking A.
Yeah, they were vicious towards each other. They haven't gotten any now. They're old and catty, but when they were young and vicious. You know, one of the funniest things they ever did. I had to walk them home after school. I'd stop and I'd pick up my two little sisters from my mom, who was a nurse. Well, she was going to nurse school, and I'd take them home with me and I'd babysit them until she got home from school. Well, I decided I was going to stop at the library. The library, I almost called it the library. I stopped at the library, and they both disappeared. And I thought, well, they're running around the library. They're fine. They were like 2 and 3. You know, they were old enough to walk and stuff. And I thought, well, I'll just look for a book. They're not going to leave the front door. I got an eye on it. So I'm looking for a book, and all of a sudden the librarian comes up to me, and he's like, sir, did you have two little girls with you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, they are upstairs in the like reference book section, and they're completely naked. I was like, oh shit. So they have like these big majestic stairs. So I ran up this big, like, you know, Gone with the Wind type staircase, and they're up there in the reference book section, butt ass naked, like chasing each other around. And I'm like, oh my god. So I round them up, and I'm looking all over for their clothes. Can't find them. So I hide them over behind some bookshelves and some chairs, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like a 12-year-old kid, you know, like, so I'm looking around for their clothes. I can't find this shit nowhere, and I'm freaking out. And then the librarian realizes what's up, and he's like, hey, have you found their clothes and their diapers and stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't know where anything is. Jesus. I was like, I'm gonna have to call my mom and figure out how to get them home because they're naked. And he's like, have you checked in the handicapped elevator? And I was like, no. And turns out there's like a little tiny elevator I was unaware of that handicapped people can use if they got a wheelchair, because there was no ramp up to the upstairs. And sure enough, they had found the elevator, used it, and disrobed in there.
Oh, just in the elevator ride up, just
got butt naked.
You should get butt ass naked.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like they were Aerosmith babies. They were like Aerosmith fans or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't love in an elevator. It was some other kind of shit. But still, to get butt ass naked and they're at 2.
It's funny.
They're weirdos. Good kids though. They grew up fine. They grew up okay. They had me as their babysitter. How could they have not of? Of course, I sculpted them to be normal, man. Man, how many kids do you have? Me and Charlie were arguing about it earlier. We were about to get in a fist fight over how many.
2. I have 2 daughters.
Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, it was 2, Charlie. We didn't know if it was 2 or 3. We didn't think it was 1 or 4 ever, but we knew it was between 2 or 3.
A 6-year-old and an asshole. I mean, toddler.
Oh, the toddlers.
Yeah,
that's the kind I'm talking about. That's how old my sisters were when they got butt
I
naked.
believe that shit, man. She is. She's not crazy.
Yep, the shake thing.
Yeah.
The shake thing. That's what I'm talking about. My little sister Erin, she'd get to shaking like a mother, and then all of a sudden just
Like
freak
she
out.
wants to just grab you, but she
destroy.
wants to just shake for a second. You're like,
It's
what
like,
are you
you
doing?
need to be in a metal band or something. You need to be in Metallica. You need to ride the lightning and kill them
man,
all.
there's never gonna be
That's
a
how baby.
fucking
That's where they
Metallica
got that
again.
idea from. That was just their baby nature. That was their baby nature, Matt. Who's got a time check in this mug? I don't want to go all night. We got to get to the show. Holy crap! It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. We got a little bit of time on here. Let's do a few more minutes at least. A few more minutes of the show. Tell
What
us
do you guys
about your
got
ride
going on?
down, Matt. Was it pleasant? Was the roads bad?
It was all right. It's
Matt
really
is a
shitty and
dedicated
cold,
motherfucker. He's out there just ripping across the country,
Yep.
doing the comedy.
Because I
dream.
have to, because there's nothing in the UP, because it's, it's a turd ready to slough off.
Yeah,
That
the
fucking lower peninsula is trying to grab it out of the dookie hole.
The
you know?
UP is so tired in the wintertime. They just
Stupid.
don't. Everyone just retires.
There's
to
only
sleep
winter
and drink.
time, and then just
A quick
frizzy
little,
hair.
half a
Just-
glimpse of summer. Yeah, it's kind of
just a
sucky.
muggy ass fucking
I
butt
was in-
sweat summer.
I was in prison up there in a couple different places.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bugs up there used to be ridiculous,
Gross.
and they came out early.
Go
The
to the
snow
beach
wouldn't
and
even
get
be
chased
melted
off
off.
the beach.
Yeah,
Ugh.
the snow wouldn't even be melted off, and they were out. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
one bug that you guys have that I hated the most, I made up names for them because I didn't have an encyclopedia or nothing.
What was
But I
it?
called them sock flies. And I called them that because they would land on my fucking sock and bite me
Bite
through
the shit
sock.
out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only place they
It's
bite.
like horse
and they
flies or
would look
black
like a
flies.
house fly almost, like a
Like a huge one though.
like a big size house
yeah,
fly.
those fucking horse flies.
But
Those
why
ones
do they want to
hurt.
bite me through the sock? I
don't
had
know.
bare flesh all over,
think it's
and
because
they
of, like,
always
the
chose through the sock.
horse skin or something. They look for like some
Yeah,
fur
they look
or
for something thick where they're like, I got a
Oh.
mouth part to bite through your sock, bitch.
Those little black flies at the beach suck too.
Everything up there
Just
sucks.
a cloud of them chased us off the beach
The
one time.
racist ass prison guards were terrible too. It was the ones you got above
Oh
the
my
bridge.
God, yeah, that's where
like
white
they catch
people
you
come
listen
from,
to
didn't you
Eminem
know?
and they're gonna put you on sanctions. They were
You
terrible.
go to fucking go to the UP. You can join a militia. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely militias up.
Militias.
And most of them
There's
are
some
probably
downstate, too,
retarded.
though.
Can you imagine how retarded some of them are? There's probably a couple of them that have like
I'm not
good
gonna talk shit on
doctrines.
militia guys if they got the internet. You know.
True, yeah, they might be
Oof,
checking out.
Better fucking
Be careful with them,
Ooh.
man. You should see the people in
Those guys
prison.
are-
When you run into the militia ones in prison, those are the ones that are the greatest ones. Those guys are hilarious.
They got like a manifesto.
I only know a few. I knew one guy named Roadkill, and like, see, I told you the nickname thing. I called him that because his neck was all like burnt up. You know, like he had a neck. I don't know what happened, but it was all burnt
Fucking
up. So everyone,
Roadkill.
like, not just me, called him Roadkill. Like that was his mean nickname, and he took to it, you know. But we used to have these food fights in the coolers. They have these huge walk-in coolers in prison. Well, I mean, they have them in kitchens and shit
Yeah.
across the world. It's not just a prison thing. Yes, but anyhow,
Never heard of it.
they have the walk-in cooler style shit. So we would go in the walk-in cooler. We would turn off the light so it was pitch black, and then we'd have like a food fight, you know. And so like we had rules.
Just go ham. For
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minute.
we'd throw like milks and eggs and shit like that at each other, you know, for like 10 minutes until the place
Right.
was disgusting, and then we'd call it good and make some asshole cleaner. But we were. Oh, I'm going to
Just
tell you a
son of a
really
guy.
funny one too. This one's kind of mean, but they got me pinned down and I didn't have nothing to throw, and I got my hand on a potato, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to hit no one, and I just whipped it blindly in the dark, and I heard that fucker. It sounded like it sounded wet and solid, whatever it hit, and all of a sudden I heard someone scream as soon as it hit, and I'm like, oh shit, and I didn't know who it was, and they flipped the light on, and Roadkill was over there holding his face. The potato had busted him right in the eyeball, and I felt
Jesus.
so bad for it, and like he wanted to fight and shit, but he was a militia guy, is what I
Oh.
told you about Roadkill. But the craziest thing that happened in a food fight, Matt, I'm gonna tell you about this. We had this guy, his name was Tommy Kraus. You can look him up on Otis. He's still in prison. This motherfucker's never getting out. He's 223332. That was his number. 2 2s, 3 3s, and a 2. That was his number. It was easy to remember. He was my
Right.
bunkie for a while. But anyhow, we were picking on him, and just, you know, just like guy shit. We weren't picking on him to pick on him. We were picking on him because
Yeah.
we picked on each other. It was a thing we did. Like on your birthday, you would get the fuck beat out of you. It was mandatory.
Yeah,
when your birthday was
Jesus.
coming up, you're like, well, they're gonna hold me down and beat me up. Like at first they're like,
Damn,
well,
that's a little harsh.
we're gonna punch you in the leg as old as you are, like 15 times or 18 times or however old you
Right.
are. And then they just hold you down and beat you up and be like, we lost count. Like that's how it was. And then you do it to them later.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess
that's how
you gotta
prison
come
is.
in sometime. Hey,
Yeah, it's just
everybody
one of them
be about it.
hazing. Like it's a constant hazing ritual. It just never ends.
Right.
Like you go in there, the hazing begins, and then you just keep doing it till it's over with. It's just a nonstop haze. You're either hazing or getting hazed. But we were hazing this motherfucker this day, and we took him in the cooler, and we were wrestling and fighting with him, and we already had a plan. And this one of our friends named Clay, he grabbed this big thing of tartar sauce, and he like, you know, the big 1 gallon
Yep.
carton, like the paper cartons. It looks
Oh,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
oversized milk jug. You know, like the little milk carton, but it's made
Yeah.
out of paper. He like put it upside down over his head and just squoze it like an Oregon or something, or
Yeah.
you know, an organ. He just squoze it, pow, and popped it open and just dropped this huge mass of tartar sauce right on Tommy's face and head. Bloop. And we were all laughing and shit. And we left, and he's mad, and he's peeling it off his face, and like everything was cool. And literally, like 15 minutes later, he was like freaking out. His face was nothing but like these big welts and lesions and
God.
shit. He had like we found out what it was. He got rushed to the ER eventually. Not rushed because they don't rush anything in there.
Right.
But after a
Just
couple
sitting
hours
there
of waiting
frying.
there, he finally got taken to the doctor, and it turned out he had chemical burns
From what?
from the tartar sauce.
Just vinegar?
I don't know what the fuck they're putting in
Holy,
our
it seems like
tartar
a
sauce, but it started
fucking
making me think. You know, after that, I just put
allergic
hot sauce on my
reaction.
fish. I never ate the tartar sauce no more.
I wouldn't
I
either,
just
fuck.
got the Frank's Red Hot out of the store, and I just put that shit on my fish from now on.
Jesus
Not in the
Christ.
world. Now I eat tartar sauce in the world, but in
Well,
there, who
yeah.
knows? You done made
Some
Two-Face
fucking
out of a motherfucker with
antifreeze
tartar
or
sauce.
something.
He was fine, though. He didn't have scars. He wasn't Two-Face. But for the day he was, he looked like a Batman character. He was fucked up. He
Gave
never
himself
let
a
us
chemical
forget
peel.
it either.
Shit.
Chemical peel.
Yeah, just
There's the
fucking peeled your
do-it-yourself
face.
one.
Ugh.
Exactly. Do it yourself. Get you some tartar sauce, Charlie, and be a new man. peel your old face off. You know, people in there, that's one way they fight in there, is they'll heat up like some Vaseline and some lotion and shit and mix it with water and just like microwave it for 25 minutes until it's just like lava. And then just run up and douche people in the face with it and beat the shit out of them.
Good lord.
Well, you got to wait a minute before you punch them or else you get burnt knuckles. Like, there's been more than one person that's like burnt up their knuckles.
Straight.
Like, you got to like Martha Stewart it. You got to let it cool. You hit them in the face. And you got to count
let
to
the
15.
steak rest before you punch it.
You have to let it cool a little. Then you Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart was in prison. She might have melted a mug with some hot sauce or something.
Oh man, she's probably
who knows what she did to get
vicious.
by. No, she didn't.
She knew she was getting out, so she was making all kinds of friends with money and shit, I bet.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
She was getting some drug hookups. She's like,
She was
man,
like,
I'm
I'm
paying
run
a
this
lot.
prison.
I'm paying rich people prices for drugs because I
Yeah,
never
right. She
met
probably had
nobody.
internet and shit and fucking
Oh yeah, she had all kinds
bottled
of stuff.
water.
Bottled water. Yeah, she had all kinds of crap. Who knows? Probably a little masseuse.
Yeah, no shit.
Sometimes I wonder if they even go to jail.
Maybe not. Hey, you never know. It's not like you're there.
It's hard to say. It's hard to
You
say.
pay them off. I'll give you $200,000 if I can just pretend I'm in jail. All right. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Who knows? Who knows what you're talking about? Oh, we got to get out of here, though. I got to tell you an old joke of the week. Here's the old joke of the week. This is the terribly old joke.
See if I know it.
It's a very horrible joke, too. But it's funny, but it's horrible. We're going to preserve it. Here's what it is. Okay. There, you remember who Bob Hart, not Bob Newhart. Who's that other guy? George Burns. That's who I'm trying to think of. You remember George Burns, the
Yeah.
classic comic, the old
Yeah.
guy? Well, he was on the Oprah show one time, and Oprah was interviewing him. You know who Oprah is, and she was interviewing George Burns, and she says, "Hey," she says, "you're an old guy, but you're still kicking around real good." He did the interview when he was in his like late 80s, because the guy lived to be almost 100, you know, and he.
Yeah, he was
So he's doing the
old.
interview. See, you can tell this is an old joke because it actually was when he's alive. I heard this joke. So he's doing the interview with Oprah, and she says, "How do you stay so young, George?" He says, "Well, I tell you what. I drink a shot of whiskey every day at least. I smoke one of these big-ass cigars, like his trademark cigar. He said, I smoke one of these every day, and I have sex 3 times a day. That's how I
A
maintain
day?
my value." That's what he tells
Damn.
her. He says, yeah, 3 times a day. And that was her reaction. She's like, what? She's like, oh, that's amazing. And they all give him applause, and the show's over. Well, she catches him in the hallway after the show, and she's like, George, she says, I can't believe you have sex 3 times a day. What's your secret to that? And he's like, well, there's no secret. I just do it. And he's like, I've always done it, so I do it. And she says, well, I can't really believe you do that, but how would you like to hang out after the show and show me yourself? So he says, all right, Oprah, So now Oprah and George Burns are going to go at it. So they stay together, and they're in the nice green room. She's got nice ones, a big thing with a bed or whatever. And so they get at her the first time. They go ahead and just get right at her. And George Burns just lays the pipe to Oprah. And she loves it, blah, blah, blah. It's great. They get done, and she says, man, that was amazing. She's like, but I have a hard time thinking a guy your age could do something like that a second time. And he says, why? He says, I need a little nap, though I won't lie. I am old. He's like, I need a 5-minute nap, just a power nap. He says, but if you do me a favor, it would really help me out. He's like, if you would take both your hands and put them on my penis while I take a nap, it would really help. And she's like, well, it's weird, but, I want to see it for myself, so I'll play along. So she does it, and he does the old man nap and falls asleep for 5 minutes and wakes right up, startled like old people do. And he says, oh, yeah, back. And she says, oh. She says, are you ready already? And he's like, yep, I'm ready. So they go at it a second time, and he does just as good. Second time, it's great, And she says, man, that's amazing. She's like, how long do you got to wait till you go again? He's like, same thing. He's like, I just need to nod off for 5, 6, 10 minutes or something. He's like, but would you do me a favor and put both your hands on my penis again while I sleep? It really helps. And she's like, all right, I don't understand your method, sir, but, we might as well take this interview all the way or whatever. So she does. She obliges him. He falls asleep for his little old man power nap, and then he wakes up, and they go at it a third time, and it's just ravishingly good, and she's just amazed. Oprah can't believe it, She's paid for a lot of, crazy Hindu sex and all kinds of freaky shit. She's had the best, but George Burns is ranking amongst the top, and she says to him, she says, George, she says, you are amazing. She says, I cannot believe how good you are. She said, I got to ask you one question off the record, of course, because, this is all off the record, but one last question, and we're going to conclude this interview, so to speak. She's like, the sex was great and everything, but why'd you have me holding your dick with both my hands when you took a nap? And he says, well, Oprah, the last time I had sex with a black woman, she stole my wallet while I was sleeping. That's the old joke of the week. That's the old joke of the week,
Oh,
people.
is that like some old Playboy?
I feel like that's an
or-
old half-ass racist joke. I think I heard it from an uncle or something. I don't know where I heard
Oh,
that,
yeah,
but
the
it was
racist
terrible.
uncle.
It's a
Got
terribly
one.
good, terribly funny joke. But
If
we
you're
need
white,
to
you
get to
got a
the show.
racist uncle. It's just
That's just how it
facts.
is. It
Yeah.
sucks. Or a dad or something. You've heard those
Yeah.
jokes. That's what I was
Somebody
telling
else's
Charlie.
dad
It's like,
with me.
yeah, those jokes are going away, but they still exist. And why not give Oprah a little ribbon,
Yeah. She's
All right,
running
well,
for president.
Yeah, we'll change the joke and put someone a white woman in it next time. But anyhow, that's Man Sharpens Man. Tell him bye, Matt.
Bye.
Lena and Charlie, tell these people bye. You barely said anything today. All right, later. Peace, pot, and microdot.